My name is Frédéric Akary. I'm the F86 pilot, and I've got the great pleasure to fly today the Battle of Britain air show with the F86. We were supposed to fly a formation flight with a Vampire, but he had a technical issue just before starting up, so I made just a solo of 15 minutes. It was a great pleasure because when you've got 15 minutes to fly, it's better than you've got 6 minutes to fly. This plane is an F86 Sabre Mk.6. It's a Canadair, in fact. It's a Canadair airplane. It's one of the last built, and it's the most powerful Sabre ever done. In fact, the Canadians start to build F86 model, and they made a lot of modification to put inside Avro Canada engine. That means Canadian engine. And in fact, in this plane, we've got the last engine built, which is the more powerful, and the Mk.6 has about 50% more thrust than the first F86A, which went in Korea. So that's a beautiful airplane. Before doing a display with such an airplane, first of all, you have to concentrate. You have to be focused on your flight and about the plane. So you try to be here near the plane about an hour before, time to make a safe and long and very deep pre-flight check. Then to prepare all the documentation that you need. Then to relearn for the last time to make a walkthrough about your display. Then, when the airplane is ready and when the pilot is ready, you move into the plane, do all the pre-flight check, startup procedure, after startup procedure, and then you are ready to taxi and to make your display. Displaying a vintage sweat jet fighter is particular in UK because since the post-Shoreham accident, we are not allowed anymore to fly aerobatics overland. We can do it overseas, but not overland. So it was my first year flying here in UK, a non-aerobatic display, and it was something challenging because I'm used to make an aerobatic display, and to move to a non-aerobatic display is completely different because you have to make a lot of turns, and it's a completely different way of flying. So to fly in UK, you need a display authorization, which is a good thing because it's a very robust system that we don't have, unfortunately, in France. And it's challenging for the first time because you have to try to make a show and to try to make a nice display just with turns, wing over, with non-aerobatics. But at the end, today, I have to say that I had a lot of pleasure to do it. I started flying at 19. I was both working as a worker to pay all my formation of my flight hours. And in fact, I complete the first part of the formation That's PPL, CPL, IR, and ATPL. 4 years after, I flew in Polynesia, ambulance flight, and then I would be hired by Canadair. I flew the Caravelle. Then I moved to Air France, and I flew Airbus 320, the first one. Then the first Boeing 747-400 as a co-pilot. Then I went captain on Boeing 737-200. Then I flew the 400 and the 500 in Air France. And then I became in charge, the head of training on the 737 fleet, as I was an instructor. Then I moved to the 777 as an instructor, and also as the chief of the formation, head of formation. And I'm flying the Boeing 777 for now 18 years. Lovely plane too. Apart, I was flying at the beginning, I was an aerobatic instructor, so I flew about 1,000 hours on a Cap 10. Then I moved and I was in the French unlimited aerobatic team, flying extra 200S on Cap 232. Then I stopped championship and I started the warbirds. I bought a Hawker Sea Fury. In fact, I had a lot of airplane because I'm also an engineer, so I bought breakage, I redo the plane, buy another plane, another breakage, blah, 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 blah. So at the end, I was able to buy a Sea Fury. I kept the Sea Fury for 5 or 6 years. Then I sold it, bought a P-61 Mustang, the best Mustang in the world, Mk.VI. I'm still in love with this plane. And then I make a swap between Mk.VI and this beautiful F86. Because it was an opportunity to fly a jet. And really, I have no regret because this plane is just amazing. And I think that everybody should have one. The F86 is a lovely airplane. It's a pleasure machine, a dream machine. And as you are used to say, jets are for kids, and I'm a great kid.